Welcome back to the Spider's Web, and in this video we're going to be finishing off Medusa here. I've had a look, and yes, that does look more like skin rather than she's wearing anything. I have given her 2 coats or 2 washes of the Agrax Earthshade, and all that remains now is to highlight. So where do we start? Well, I don't want her looking like she's what's the word I'm looking for? I know Medusa was one of the mortal Gorgons, or was the only mortal Gorgon, I think it was. So I don't really want a natural, but I don't really want a natural colour scheme or tone to her flesh. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some of the flesh tone and some of the grey that we used earlier. And I don't want too big a difference at the moment. But I think I've got quite a big difference, and we're going to go down. Yeah, that is a little bit too different, I think. What I might do is go over again with just the skin tone and then use that. And we're just going to touch on where the light is going to hit. There's not going to be a great deal of work on this because there's not a lot of high points to this mini, but we are going to go down the on the stage where we are going to be I don't know what I'm saying here. My mind has just gone completely blank trying to paint this, because I'm trying to focus on what I'm doing and talk, and for some reason my brain just isn't allowing me to do that today. I don't know why. Oh well. Yeah, so what we're trying to do is build up the skin tone, and a little bit too dark in some places. So I'm going to try and build up the skin tone at the moment, and then we can start highlighting. I don't think this is going exactly the way I wanted it to be honest, but we'll keep plodding on with it. Hopefully it will all work out. All we have to do is just hope that the highlights in the next stage will do everything that I need it to do. Anyway, so that's the skin tone done. Next it's the turn of the areas here. Now what I'm going to do for this is I'm going to use just straight Bestigar flesh and just give a dry brush. Now I'm dry brushing upwards because I want to pick out the raised areas. Oh yeah. And as you can see, if you do it upwards, it picks out the areas that you want. If you do it downwards, it picks out all the areas here, but we're trying to pick out the segments, not we're not trying to pick out everything, we're just trying to pick out the segments of the scales. Next, again with the dry brush, which is why I'm making an effort to dry this brush. We're going to go back in with the Bugman's Glow. In fact, certainly different. I think we might use rat skin flesh because it's a slightly paler colour. Hopefully it might add a little bit of a highlight. Okay, and gently just over the raised areas. We will give a run with this colour, which will pick out all the scales. There we are. Now we'll be coming back and doing more to this, but at the moment that's all we're doing. Next job, once I've fully dried the dry brush, we're going to do highlights of the bones, and for that we're just going to go into the grey that we used to paint it originally, which was Pallid Witch Flesh, I believe, was it? Nope, Ulthuan Grey. I'll get there eventually. And just on certain areas we'll just touch on. We'll find some areas and just touch a little bit of this colour onto those areas, and that way the bones will be highlighted. There we are. That's really all we need. Not a great deal. Tickety boo. Next, using what colour? No, not that one. Hashut Copper, which is that one. We'll go over the Ujima bits, the metal areas. Now over the things. I'm just going to give a little dry brushing kind of effect. I'm also going to go over the necklace pieces as well. I want to make sure that all of the bracelet thingies are done, whether or not it's in light, because I'm going to highlight a little later. With it. I'm going to highlight them a little later, I'm not going to highlight with it. So I'm just going to touch on the other metal areas as well. That looks about it for what I need to do. Next, it's a simple job, this one, it's not very difficult at all. We'll go back to our skin tone. Now we need, as we say, a paler colour, and that paler colour is the one we mixed earlier. It's a mixture of the Ultraman Grey and the Kislev Flesh. Hopefully now this is going to be the right colour we need. Now we just, anywhere that we think you're going to get a lot of highlight, a lot of light hitting it, we'll get touched with this colour. There we go. And we'll add a little bit more grey into that as well. Because, as I say, I don't want it looking a natural skin tone. There we are. Now, because she's a Gorgon and can turn people into stone, I want to do something with her eyes. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just go over the eyes with a bit of the Ultraman Grey. Then, once that's dry, we're going to do something a little different with that. But before I do anything else with the Mini, where did that go now? I did have an old CD here and I cannot find it, so I'm going to bear with me a moment. Okay, I'm back. I found it. Oh dear Lord. Right, so what we're going to do with this, as I was saying, I wanted a little bit of something on this to make it sparkle a little bit, if you get me drift. So what I'm going to do is using a little bit of Stormhold Silver. If I can get it so that it won't work, I may have to give it a damn good stirring again. A little bit of Stormhold Silver. And when I've got it out, and on the thing, I'm going to do the point of the arrow. And I'm also going to there we are. So that's that done. What I'm going to put into the Stormhold Silver in here is a little bit of the rat skin flesh. There you go. And now, hopefully, that might add a little bit of sparkle into the onto the scales. There we go. And that very nearly is that. What I want to now do is going into the dryad bark. A little bit of that, a little bit of the grey, the Ulthuan grey, right, so we can just go ahead and highlight the a little bit more of the Ulthuan grey because it's not showing up terribly well. That's all we need for that. I will do roughly the same on there, like so. Next, using a dry brush, hopefully it is a dry brush, it is. We have Screaming Skull. And we're not using this for a skull, we're using this for the hair. And we'll just very lightly over like so. That's that bit done. And now it's the turn of the leather straps, and for that we're going to use a little bit of Scrag Brown. So it's just on the leather areas. Just like so. I'm all I'm doing is just touching here and there, just to bring out a little bit of the colour. And now we're going to play about, because I want, as I say, to do something extraordinary with the eyes, which I don't usually do, and I'm hoping it's going to work. Flash gets yellow. Spot of that. And a spot of an old favourite of mine, Scorpion Green. Yeah. In fact, I should have done this on here because I want it quite watery. I'm going to get me and as I've made it, hopefully, so that that looks as though the eyes are just shining brightly in a hideous green colour. But I'm going to go into the middle of the eyes, on this eye anyway, and just add in of green, and I hope that stands out. I don't think it does, but oh well. Next, and I think final job for today, is again with the dry brush. I'll get some of that paint that we used for the things there, some that we used for the skin tone, to lighten it quite a bit. In fact, let's go the whole hog. Let's use Screaming Skull. And then a little bit of the Ulthuan Grey. Spot more of that darker colour. Wash the brush out. And once again I'm just going to try to brush over the edges of the top edges of the bow as well, because it make that stand out. There we go. That's that bit done, and now I'm going to do exactly the same again, but with a little bit of just plain Electron Grey. And that will be about the end of Medusa. I don't think there's anything more I need to do, apart from the whatchamacallit, the little quiver of arrows and the flakes on the arrows as well. We're going to go back into the corn red. And just touch up the top edge of the quiver. And that line and down the quiver, and also get some of that on there, a little bit of that colour. And we'll go around the edge here. And that is it, near enough. Oh, the small issue now of the flakes, and for that we'll just use, when I can find the colour, where'd it go? There we are. I'm not doing it in black like I was originally going to do. I'm going to use Electron Grey. And this is just for the flakes. Go all over. And pop a little bit on there, into that, a little bit of the Electron Grey, not Electron Grey, the Electron Grey, just to lighten it, not a little bit, and then it's not going to work. I was hoping to wet blend it in, make it look a little interesting, but I can't see it working, to be honest. It's not that stronger colour change, but I'm just going to dab here and there with that lighter colour. Hope you can see it. There we are. Next job, I'm going to give it one more wash, and the wash this time isn't the brown, the earth Agrax Earth shade. When I can find it, it will be Reichland Flash Shade, and I'm not going to go over this time. Now this wash is just going to be in a specific area, which is just the serpent parts of the main body. Just to tie in all the colours that we've used. Because at the moment it's just looking as though it's all different colours. The brush strokes from the washes and everything else are just showing through. So I want to emphasise the fact that it says all one part of the body. Tie everything in nicely. And that is Medusa. I'm doing nothing more to this mini now. That is it. I hope you like this. And next time, what would you like to see? The choice is a hero or the other small monster, which will be the Minotaur. Which one would you like to see? And we could do, in fact, I want to get that Reichland Flash Shade out and go over the skin tone as well, because it's not looking as I would like. So there we go. That is Medusa. So what do you want to see next? Small hero, or a hero, or the final small monster? I'll give you a list of everybody that is available at the bottom. Just let me know what you'd like to see, and I'll try my best to paint it next time. So until then, as always, take care, God bless, and bye for now.